Okay, so talking about our anchorable plan, if you're looking up at the screen, this is kind of what your anchorable plan is going to look like. You're going to have a title block on it, obviously. You'll have the anchorable plan, and then you will have a series of details across the bottom here, and maybe if there's room up the side, you might have some additional details. These are going to be the details that you see on the second and third page of this handout. So if you flip to those, you would see those actual details that came from Butler, right? The manufacturer of this building. They've sent you a shop drawing showing you what the anchorable plan should look like and some examples of the details. But we're going to treat this like you're the shop drawing developer, so you're going to be developing the anchorable plan for your building and putting these details on it. The details down here that you're going to be developing, this happens to be the detail of one of your rigid frames. How do you want to create that detail? What do you think would be the easiest, fastest way to create that detail? You have the information in the handout, so basically all you have to do is copy it, right? But how would you create it in Revit? What? Okay, but a detail line, what are you going to use? A callout would work, but it isn't going to make your anchorable plan look like the one on the sheet here. What I'm going to want you to do is I'm going to want you to use a drafting view. Have you done drafting views before? Okay. Drafting views in Revit are used to create just 2D drawings. So you can create just a 2D drawing of this image by using a drafting view. If you go up to the top on the top of the toolbar up here, you'll see the view box. Click on the view box, and there's an icon here called the drafting view. If you click on the drafting view, you're going to first off name this drafting view. So in this case, what is the name of your drafting view? Well, it's this name down here that I have on mine, right? And it's whatever it says on your example that's been handed out. So it's going to be, in this case, sidewall column detail A528. That's what I would name my drafting view. Then I'm going to pick a scale for it, and let's use 1 inch equals a foot. Okay? So you would, I think it's going to default to like 1.5 inch. Just change it to 1 inch equals a foot, and then just say OK. So if I just hit OK here, it puts me into a blank sheet, or a blank space of view. And in this space, then now I'll just use annotate, detail lines, and so on, right? So you'll just create just 2D line work. Any questions about that? Okay, once you completed that, it will show up for you as a drafting view over here. Right here. There's a, in your project browser, there will be something called drafting views, and there will be that drafting. Okay? So this line around the outside is also an outline around your view, right? So it's line work that you're going to create. Use different line thicknesses. You know, sometimes we get in a hurry and we just use thin lines for everything, and all of a sudden it doesn't look very professional. So we need medium lines, thick lines, phantom lines, whatever we need to put on there we will, border lines, wide lines. So make it look presentable, okay? On this drafting view now, you don't have to create a title because you already created it when you had that first box, right? That created you a title. Okay, so that's the process for creating those details. And you'll create a separate drafting view for each one of these details on the handout. Let's look at that handout for a second. The top drafting view is your rigid frame column, right? That's the base where it's going to attach to the foundation. The next two are actually the very same detail, only one's a mirror image of the other, right? So they're two different opposite corners. You only have to draw one of those details. I'm not going to require that you draw the detail twice. So just draw one corner detail, okay? Go to the next page. You'll see the N post, H post, or C post, right? That's the top one on that second page. And I'm going to stop recording here for a second. Okay, then we have the next one down is the 12-inch door post, left and right. We only have to draw one of those again. We're not going to draw both a left and a right. We'll draw just the left. Okay. So the door post is used for overhead doors. Okay. Overhead doors. So we're going to create the door jamb with the side of the C channel, right? So that becomes the door jamb. The door is going to ride up and down on the inside of this, right? Okay, so that is the overhead door post. So we'll have to locate those on your drawing. And if you go back to the first page of this again, you'll see locations of those things. How they're dimensioned and so forth. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, you'll notice that the anchorable plan is really basic. It's only going to show the locations of these anchor bolts, base plates on the sheet. We're only dimensioning grid lines, and we also need to dimension the location of the door posts. Okay, we have to locate where those anchor bolts for the door post should be. We don't need to show windows and doors and things like that. We don't need to show walls. All we're showing is the grid lines and the location of those anchor bolt base plates. So let's look at how we create these IDs for these base plates. So we have an ID tag here that says A528, for example. Let's activate this view. Okay, let's say I had to create one for this corner column here. Now, if I go and use text, which text format should I be using? One with a leader on it? Okay. I want to use a certain size, right? I want to use 3/32. And I'm going to use the one here. And if I pull that out, and what was the corner post number? A536. Okay, I get that. And actually it should have come out with a leader on it, right? Or a arrowhead on it, right? All right, I'll default it to none. Yours will probably come out like that. Is that right? Okay. There's no box around the text, and it has this arrow on it. I don't want the arrowhead on it, and I want a box around. So how am I going to create that? Okay, I'll show you. So we're going to go to annotate. We're going to go to text. We're going to go to the text 3/32 Arial. We're going to edit the type. We're going to duplicate it, and we're going to rename it 3/32 Arial base plate ID. Okay, so I just gave it a name. So this is, we're only going to use it for base plates IDs. We're going to go down here, and I'm going to click where it says, and I'm going to change it to none because I don't want an arrowhead on it, right? And then I'm going to put a show border. So I'm going to put a border around it. And then I'll just say OK for now. And now I'll go and draw that on here using this style. Now it has the leader without an arrowhead, and it has the box around it. The box is too big for me. I don't like that box around it that big. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to edit the type. And we're here where it says leader border offset. I'm going to change this to 1/32, 1/64. Now the box is smaller around it, so it's closer in. Okay, so that's the way I'll have you create those. Okay, so I think at this point I'm just going to let you go ahead and start working on your anchor bolt plan, and then I'll be calling you over to discuss your floor plan. Okay?
Just one question.
Sure.
Would you recommend doing the
once you've duplicated your floor plan and made an anchor bolt plan view, you can then make things visible within that view that you want. So you don't want your walls and stuff to be visible in that view. But if you're going to be dimensioning doors, for example, because you're putting in these door posts, you're going to need to have those visible so that you can find them. So when you have your anchor bolt view open, you can go to Visual Graphics, click on Doors to make them visible, apply that, and say OK. Now your doors are on there. Now you got more doors on there than you probably want, so you could go select the doors you don't want, which would be your interior doors, and hide them in the view. And now you just have the doors that you want, right? So we don't have to redraw, just make things visible that you want and hide things that you don't want. Okay?